first time I saw my dad on TV was in a movie called 21. He held the door for the main character, smiled, and said his line. To be honest, I've watched that scene 1,000 times, and I still can't figure out what the fuck he said, but I know that it was one of his proudest moments. Because to him, being an extra just meant he was extra famous. You see, my father was an actor. And though he didn't make a living from acting, acting was his living, which is fitting. Because the last time I saw my dad was on a screen. And we FaceTimed. Like he was in the hospital. You know, he told me he was coming home soon, that he never leave without a proper goodbye, and I don't know if I should call him a liar or a damn good actor, because now his EKG looks a lot like his scripts. It's only got one line. I guess the heart monitor to quiet on set a bit too literally, his lungs. Now the understudy to a ventilator, the ICU, CGI, my father's voice into an answering machine. I left him message after message just waiting for a call back, but he's too busy acting like he's gonna be okay, and honestly, I can't tell if he's killing this role or if this role is killing him. The pandemic was a global hit. 1.1 million caskets sold, box office numbers boomed as bodies filled the room. My dad got his too, I buffed and shined it myself, and while I think there's something cynical about picking out your own casket, I know he was just getting ready for the walk of fame, because isn't that exactly what happens when you bury a star? The doctors turn more director, tell us to go home, stay safe, socially distant, we don't want this happening again, but they all feel like closed captions because I see exactly what they're trying to say. You see, what they really mean is that, like any disease, he had to have gotten it from someone. And this is the plot twist I never saw coming. My father's blood covers my hands, trickles off my fingers onto the floor, so that everywhere I walk is a red carpet. Every step is a reminder that I'm the one who brought home the disease that made my paparazzi, where they didn't tell you about COVID. It gave birth to a generation of kids responsible for their family's funerals. Meanwhile, I killed my father, and there was no judge, no jury, no executioner, just me, surrounded by family telling me it wasn't my fault, but their fault lines spoke differently, cracked at the foundation of what kept us whole, crumbled at the fact that I had to chop down my family tree to write his eulogy, because while I stand on the stage, his remains sit on the shelf like the Oscar he never won, but still, it's a spot he gave his life for, turning heaven into Hollywood. He was a classic man, one of the good fellas, strong as a raging bull, but when his body starts to shudder, I lend my mother my shoulders least, because I can't imagine how hard it must be to long for her husband to sing, even when the score says he won't. How can I not feel guilty when every time I look at his urn, all I see is my reflection? Because to be a son is to be your father's understudy, to know your lines, to play the part, to never break, to cut past all the fucking bullshit and stop pretending like I'm okay. So that maybe one day I can look at you and say I'm fine and actually mean it. Yeah!